chapters, and I've always mentioned this, that our duty as opposition leaders and supporters is not to preach to the choir. We need to find the people who are on the fence, the people who are not converted to our message, and try to bring them in this room. The opposition has to be a big tent organization and movement. We don't discriminate whether on gender or race or tribe. Everyone is welcome as long as they believe in our mission to liberate our country. So I implore you, my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, that we need to be welcoming. Whether we're on social media, whether we are on media outlets, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we talk to individuals, we need to be welcoming. We need to listen to what other people think. Why are they on the fence? Because every Ugandan in the diaspora is here because they couldn't get a job back home, they couldn't get a good education, or any other reason that brings it here. It's because of the challenges we are facing back home. So the question is, if they know that there's a lot of suffering back home, that they lack job opportunities, why are they not in this room? Why are they not joining the movement? So that's the question we need to ask ourselves, that how do we grow our tent so that those individuals know that the root cause of their suffering, the root cause of unemployment is because of Museveni and his family. That's our challenge as a diaspora and as a movement. And that's what we have been working on as a diaspora, to make sure we grow our wings, not just in the Ugandan diaspora. I have my brothers and sisters from Swaziland, he's here. We have our sister from Kenya. She has been in this struggle for a long time. And we have many people who believe in because the message of change is not unique to Uganda. It's a message that motivates many other members in the world and in Africa. So we need to be welcoming to our brothers and sisters all across the continent of Africa. That's why we need to continue to expand the tent of our party. We need to be welcoming to everyone. And before I wrap up my points, the theme we chose is envisioning a new Uganda. And the reason why we chose that theme is many people have been saying that we want Museveni to go, but they have been asking, what do you stand for after Museveni is gone? At this conference, starting yesterday, where we heard from the diaspora presented ideas on what they want the new Uganda to look like. And today we are going to hear from our leaders from Uganda to tell us what that new Uganda is going to look like. Whether you're looking about healthcare, whether you're talking about the economy, when you're talking about human rights, we want to know that what is the National Unity Platform going to do to turn around the lives of 45 million Ugandans who are suffering, who have no health care, who lack an education, who lack job opportunities. That they feel that the road to success is to get a visa and go to the Middle East, to get a visa to come to the United States, to get a visa to come to Europe, because they feel that their life is hopeless, that they don't have hope. That's what we are here to do, to show them that those opportunities can be created in Uganda. And I guarantee you, the only party, the only movement which has the answers to our economic struggles, to corruption, to human rights, to fixing our judiciary, to fixing parliament, the only party which is doing that, which is leading that fight, is the National Unity Platform. And the leader, every party needs a leader. Every movement needs a leader. and the leader who has shown us the way. The leader who we believe in. The leader who has shown that he can make tough decisions. And it doesn't matter if you are his vice president, if you are his friend, if you fail to lead by example. Ebikolwa byo. Ebikolwa byo. Abantu balabira ku ki? The only leader who has shown us that we have to lead by example has been President Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi. So, comrades, I had a lot to say, but I know we have a long weekend. I want to take this opportunity to invite our Secretary General of the National Unity Platform. David Lewis. And he's going to tell us, what does the National Unity Platform stand for? When we talk about a new Uganda, what does that vision look like? So we understand that we are not here only to fight for Museveni to leave. We are here to improve the lives of our brothers and sisters. Thank you, Secretary General, for the work you are doing, for your leadership, for all the changes that have been made in our party. And I'm looking forward to listening to his message. And I want all of you to stand up and give him a big round of applause. Welcome, Secretary General.
Thank you very much. People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. President Wanka kusokemu. Adui nani we. Adui Museveni ni mwenyewe. Adui nani? Adui Museveni ni mwenyewe. Adui nani we? Adui Museveni ni mwenyewe. Adui nani? Adui Museveni. People power, tusonge mbele na bidii. People power. People power, tusonge mbele na bidii. People power, tusonge mbele na bidii. People power. You can take your seats. Mr. President, Deputy President, the leader of our parliamentary team, the Honorable Joel Senyonyi, the leader of our diaspora team and your deputy, of course, the chapter leader of the Chicago chapter. Very importantly, very delighted to see you, Dr. Daniels, and of course, Professor Milton Alimadi. We are always delighted to have you at all these events, and we take the advice and everything. So my task is really to talk about what kind of Uganda are we looking at. The theme of this convention is envisioning a new Uganda. Envisioning a new Uganda. Envisioning a new Uganda. Envisioning a new Uganda presupposes that we are in the old Uganda today. And we want to go into a new Uganda. And so that means that we will have to work very hard. And I want to salute every single one of you who is working extremely hard to see that we get from this point to the next point. Because right now where we are is not where we want to be. When we say that we are talking about a new Uganda, it means that the Uganda we have today is not the Uganda we want to be in. It's not the Uganda we want to be in. And yesterday, we are very glad to receive people who commented, who presented here. They were talking about the different things that define the current Uganda that we are in. the human rights violations, enforced disappearances, taking people away from their land and not compensating them, and so many other problems that they talked about. And so for us, our main mission as a national unity platform under the leadership of our president is to usher Uganda, the current Uganda we have, into a new Uganda. And so we want to cross over from this Uganda to the next Uganda. But before I go into that, I want to appreciate you, comrades of the diaspora, for the great work. I want to appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. You guys challenge us. You guys challenge us. Today, your leaders were telling us about the average cost that you put in to come for these conventions. And it is indeed a sacrifice. For you to sacrifice and come here and spend your time and spend money means that you really have Uganda at heart and you have the National Unity Platform at heart. I am always on calls with several members of the diaspora, and I know how busy it is. I know how busy life in America is and the demands on your time. But when you're called upon to go and demonstrate, you go there and demonstrate. When you're called upon to give to the party, you are able to support the party. When you're called upon to support the cause in one or the other, you are always there. Every time they abduct somebody, they arrest somebody, sometimes before even we in Uganda have posted about it, you see thousands of posts from the diaspora, people demanding. So that is why we are here to salute you, comrades in the diaspora. Thank you so much for the great work that you do. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do matters. Like the president mentioned in the message which I was reading earlier in the message in the program, these small acts which all of us do contribute greatly. Dr. Kauma has been talking about the sanctions. You might have protested on one day and forgot about it. But it is that time when you went out in the winter on the streets to protest that resulted into those sanctions. So I want to encourage you to continue protesting, to continue speaking out, because that works. We in Uganda have been able to achieve different things. I had Dr. Kauma boasting, we've all been able to also achieve different things. Comrades in the diaspora, you have the best party headquarters in the whole country, Uganda. And you know that. In the different parts of the country, Comrade Kaluya, I didn't introduce you because you sat on that side. But this gentleman is our mobilization secretary for Eastern Uganda. And there's a lot of work going on in mobilization, trying to mobilize the country. And of course, under the good leadership of Honorable Senyonyi and our brother Wise, we are doing great with communications and media. Yesterday, someone called Waiswa a general because he has fought many battles and won them, apparently. Media battles and other battles. Under our legal and human rights department, you've seen our lawyers every day moving up and down. But under his department, arts, culture, and sports, you've seen us do sports activities in the different parts of the country. And we are determined to do all that because we want to continue mobilizing, we want to continue speaking out to the people. The other day, we were supposed to have our 4-year celebration as a national unity platform. And then these people said they're using Kololo, although even today there was a function, a big function at the same place, because they fear, they think that when NUP people gather at Kololo, maybe they will not leave. They are afraid of us. They know that we are women and men on a mission. So when we're talking about 4 years, I was having a discussion with the president, and I said even at the presser that day that I thought the most important achievement we've been able to achieve in these 4 years of NUP is awakening the people of Uganda. And I gave an example of that young man in C, who all of you saw. You remember C in Isinjiro? Where else would C get the guts, the audacity, the effrontery to get concerned about what is happening in the country? But thanks to our president and his message, now every time you go to a border stage, they are talking about their country. Every time you go to Echilombe, Echamanda, Oba Echabloka, Babela no Echilombe Chabloka, Webakolera Matofali. Oba when you go to Webokeza Makala Amanda Bagaitachi. Chokero Chamanda. So, hey, every time you go to those places, kaparaga ngamanti yanzija. Oluganda lwange sibe lwakabi na era ndi better than I used to be. Every time you go to those places, people are talking about politics. People are talking about their country. So that has been the main achievement of the National Unity Platform and the People Power Movement. That right now, every time someone tries to drag people into a useless conversation, even in the comments on social media, people will be talking about political prisoners, people will be talking about the country, people will be talking about what has gone wrong with our country. So that is the most important thing. So ladies and gentlemen, of course we've been able to achieve many things. I want to report to you, ladies and gentlemen, that this year and last year, we had the nationwide tour. And the nationwide tour took us to Ankole in Barara, and people received Musinguzi in their thousands. The people of Ankole came out and showed a lot of love to the president. And recently, of course, we are in other parts, Isinjiro and other places in Ankole. Ntungamo, you saw what was going on there. We were in Acholi at some point, in Dokolo and other parts, and you saw how people received the message of change. We were in Busoga, Abasoga Muliwa. Yeah, we were in Jinja and those places, and thanks to the people of Busoga, they are still saying enough is enough. We went to Busia, and Busia broke its own record. But before then, we also were in Mayuge. In Mayuge is also in Busoga. But when we went to Busia, the people of Busia said, we are going to Tugenda Kumwagaza Kajanja. Mwabalaba. So went to Bugisu in Mbale, and you saw what was going on in Mbale. We went to Arua in West Nile. Mama, our D4 Angili. And the people of West Nile received us with great joy. We were in Karamoja, and we are going back to Karamoja and Teso because some of our activities were blocked. We were in Lira, in Lango, and all of you saw the vibe in Lira. We went to Kabale, where the regime thought they had a strong footprint, but they couldn't measure up. They tried to block us, and we broke the blockages and talked to the people of Kabale. We were in Bunyoro, in Hoima. We were in Fort Porto, in Toro. We were in Kasese, in Rwenzori. And very recently and very profoundly, we were in Masaka, in Uganda. Yeah. So the revolutionary train has continued moving all across the country, and it is our intention, ladies and gentlemen, to reach everywhere with a message of change. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about, I was asked to talk about how do we envision the new Uganda. And some of the things, every time we lift this fist, we call this the Fist 5. The Fist 5. It's just symbolic of what we stand for. What do we want a new Uganda to look like? And the first point, ladies and gentlemen, is to have democracy, respect for democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. That is the first. When we talk about the Fist 5, they are fair. You saw recently what happened to our brother Achideo. How they picked him up, beat him up, humiliated him, and brought him the following day, planted military pips at his house, and right now he's in detention. Our brother Bobiwine is in detention. Every time he tries to go to court, they say the military generals are sick. And you know, those military people are the judges. We are saying no, civilians should not be tried in military courts. So when we talk about human rights and the rule of law, respect for democracy, we want to put an end to that. You remember in Arua, these guys planted guns in our president's home. From that time, he has been demanding for those guns, tazirabangako. Kubanga bagamba nti yayine mundu mulumu ye. Nawabuze mundu zange mwaziswala wate. The second point is inclusive economic development. Inclusive economic development. Previously, they used to say we shall not wait for Karamoja to develop. And we are saying that is wrong. We want the whole country to develop. We do not want only sections of the population to develop. We do not want northern Uganda to be left behind. We do not want parts of Teso to be left behind. We want inclusive economic development. We want development for every single person. Because every person in Uganda pays taxes. But those taxes benefit only a few. And we want to put an end to that. We want to make sure that the money which the people of Uganda contribute in taxes helps them equally across the board. We want every Ugandan to have a fair chance, a fair opportunity. Whether you're born in Karamoja, whether you're born in Teso, whether you're born in Ankole, we want a government which gives fair chance to each of these individuals to succeed. We want a child who goes to a school in Busoga to have the same opportunity as someone, as a child who goes to a school in Barara or wherever. And that is why we talk about inclusive economic development. In terms of the mineral resources, we want these mineral resources to support the people of Uganda, not just a few individuals. So we want inclusive economic development. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, quality public services. You all know what is going on in our hospitals. You all know what is going on in our schools. Children are studying under trees. There is no access to medication in our country because they know that when they get sick, they will be on the next flight out of Uganda to some place to get treatment. You guys know how many Ugandan officials have died from Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi. You can imagine. Why? Because at Mulago they cannot get those services. Not that they trust Mulago itself. They don't trust it for 2 reasons. Because of lack of equipment and all that, but also because because of the sense of fear and insecurity in the country, they don't trust their own system. So that's why they have to run away to get treatment elsewhere. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to have equal access to quality public services, especially healthcare and education. Because like the Lob said yesterday, Mandela told us education is the most important, powerful weapon you can use to change the world. So if we want to develop our country, we must invest in education. We must invest in healthcare. Some people ignorantly ask NUP where we stand. They think that policy is something that is very complex. And we have been telling them that even if we had the money which Museveni has, the same amount of money they use, it is just a matter of putting that money where Ugandans are. Just changing the priorities. The 3 trillion shillings they spend in classified expenditure every year, that money can improve the lives of our people. The money that we lose through corruption, more than 10 trillion every year, is enough to construct very good roads for our country, Uganda. So we are saying that let's change our priorities. It is Thomas Sankara who said that we must make a decision whether to have champagne for a few or clean water for all. And so, for us as a National Unity Platform, we believe that we shouldn't have champagne for a few. We should have clean water for every single Ugandan. And that clean water, you can put it in other sectors. The other thing we talk about, number 4, is land, agriculture, and natural resources. I already talked about land, land grabbing. We want Ugandans to own their land and to feel secure. We want to put an end to land grabbing. We want to put an end to this situation where people are just chased off their land without compensation. We want to make sure that we develop, because right now, people are not sure. You heard what has happened with ECOP and how many people have been displaced and all that. So we want people to have security of tenure. RDCs now can wake up on a day as they wish and tell you to leave your land. And you don't have anywhere to go. You go to courts of law, a case takes 20 years in the court system. If you don't have money, that is the situation we have in our country. So that is one other thing that we are very passionate about. I talked about agriculture and natural resources. We want Uganda's oil to benefit the people of Uganda. We want Uganda's gold to benefit the people of Uganda. Uganda's diamond, everything that is Ugandan, we want them to benefit the people of Uganda. And finally, under democracy and human rights, one of the aspects I didn't talk about was building strong institutions. Our President Chagulanyi does not believe in being a strong man, but in being able to build strong institutions. That's why in NUP you see different leaders. That's why the diaspora is able to function the way it functions, because we want the diaspora to be an independent and strong institution, not coming in every day to say, do this, do that, do the other. And that does not mean that we do not consult each other. We consult each other, but we want to build strong institutions. Finally, security and international relations. That is number 5. We believe that security does not mean absence of war, but security means justice. Security means equal opportunity. Security means equality. Security means where the citizens of Uganda are at peace with themselves and the country is at peace with its neighbors. So we want to bring about security that is lasting, but we shall not achieve all these. All these are grand ideas which we cannot achieve until we send away the dictatorship. So, Dr. Kauma, like you said, many people keep saying, you guys are only talking about Museveni must go, Museveni must go. Yes, because he is a hindrance to achieving these things. One of the things which the president said in the last campaign, and it was as if he was prophesying. He said that 5 years of Museveni, do you remember that speech? He said 5 more years of Museveni will mean 5 more years of corruption, 5 more years of senseless deaths, 5 more years of all these problems. Today you saw what happened at home. People being buried under garbage in Chitezi. People being buried under garbage, Kasasiro. You know, by the last time I checked, there were about maybe close to 10 people dead. 12 now. So you can imagine the senseless killings. So we want the people of Uganda to have better lives. But that can only happen when we come together and change our country. Maybe I'll have another opportunity to talk about it, but I want us to believe in ourselves. Let's have faith. Let us remain committed. Let us continue doing everything that we can do to change our country. Because we cannot achieve all these lofty ideas when the dictatorship is still there. And I can assure you, God being on our side and ourselves being determined, there is nothing we shall not be able to achieve. I thank you. And may I take this opportunity to invite the leader of our parliamentary team to also give us an address, and he will in turn invite our deputy president, who will invite our president to speak to us. Thank you very much. People power.
Thank you, SEG. The ghetto people find it difficult to call him SG, so they call him SEG. Then wise called spoken, because spokesperson is a very complicated language. People power. Our power. I once again want to take this opportunity to appreciate our diaspora leadership. You people make us proud. Yes, you do. You make us proud. Tuwelinga tuvimba. President wa fetafuga Uganda yoka. Nenu le presidenti. You see, for a very, very long time, the diaspora had always been concerned about the happenings back home, bothered in one way or another, involved in one way or another. But we are glad that it's different now. You people keep coming together. You are better organized. It's different. I mean, I was in the media for over 14 years, and I would see the happenings of politics, both within Uganda and outside. And I had never seen the diaspora this organized. So it gives us a lot of hope. Let me encourage you. You know, the struggles that we are involved in, the pushing back that we are involved in, can be laborious sometimes. Sometimes I'm sure you ask yourselves, but these things, not to be moving. We get bothered at times. We have got to keep reinvigorating and re-energizing ourselves, because sometimes, like, you're pushing back against this huge mountain. It can be frustrating at times. You do A, B, C, D, and then before you know it, they're abducting people, and then you're going in all those circles. We have buried so many people. Many others are in jail. The frustrations are so many. But you see, it's important that we have got to keep going. Dr. Ron Daniels, who stepped out, he always talks about the civil rights movement and how these guys pressed on and on and on and insisted every step of the way until they got where they needed to get. And look, this country in which you live is the free world. There are still challenges, but you have moved miles. But it took work. People had to work as hard as they possibly could. You guys in the diaspora have your challenges too, your frustrations. I am hoping that you realize you need to keep moving. We need to keep pushing as much as we possibly can. I want to annoy you people in just like 5 minutes. I want to annoy you some more. Because already you are annoyed. Everyone in the diaspora has got a story. You have a reason, a cogent reason why you left Uganda. Otherwise, you would love to be home with your families. But for one reason or another, it could be an economic reason. Either you failed to find a job, or you needed better, you were struggling to make ends meet.
So you have got a reason why you are not in Uganda. And I am sure that reason annoys you enough to work hard to see that our country gets better. Mr. President, yesterday we adumbrated, and this is when we take charge. And normally the resounding question is, where are the resources going to come from? The SG has just reminded us, in Uganda we lose over 10 trillion shillings per year to corruption. 10 trillion is about half the money that URA collects in Uganda. Because in the last financial year, the target of URA was to collect 24 trillion, they collected 23 trillion. Now 10 is stolen. Forget the huge budget that you see as 72 trillion. Which is an inflated puffed up fee. Of course, most of that is going to be borrowed and so on and so forth. But half of the money that we collect in our country, you think about it, half is stolen. What much can that money do? When I wanted to cite a few examples, some, when I was sharing, the committee was sharing some of the prevailing situations, which show you that when we talk about this, and by the way, the 10 trillion figure is not our figure. That's the figure for government of Uganda. a report of the Inspector General of Government. So that's a report of government. And for those that have been following, the journalists I am, whenever government gives you a figure, you know that they have either lessened it so that they don't look as bad as government. So you can push that figure even higher, the amount that is solid. So when you hear people say, we actually don't have money, we do have money. One of the entities we investigated was Uganda Railways Corporation. These people bought locomotives. First of all, very old locomotives in comparison to what they were meant to buy, and they bought them a lot more expensively, and they didn't go through procurement regulations as they should have. So they spent 48 billion to buy locomotives. They brought them home. They failed to function. Then they told us, you see, the rails need to be tweaked a little bit and so on. They tried to do that. They moved one of them, and they didn't derail. It went off the rail. 48 billion. So I insisted, together with the team I was leading, I said, this thing here, no. So we made a lot of noise. Eventually the MD was fired and the entire board. But I said, our quest was not just for these people to get fired. I want this money recovered. That hasn't happened to date. When we were handling Uganda Land Commission, some of you have got land challenges back home. You buy land, and then before you know it, somebody bought it before you. But you paid money. There's a lot of land fraud back home. So there are people who, they go to villages. There's many parts of our country whose land is not titled. So these people would go to like Koima or wherever, and then like 5 square miles, villages and villages of people. There's no title. And so they go and forge titles. And then they come and say, we want to displace you people because we are the ones to title. But these people have been on that land for over 100 years, dating back to the other generations, yeah? And somebody saying, I've got the title. Now, they then get into cahoots with government officials to say, okay, now, since this person has got title, government should save these people so that they're not sent off their land. Government should now pay this person who has got title so that those people are saved. But it's an entire syndicate. So one of those cases we discovered, some lawyers who thought they were very smart. You can hear the by Mr. President, congratulations again. I was facing him yesterday. I told him, you see, this profession you have come into, you find seniors like us. So you are giving a counsel.
People power.
So I talk about lawyers, some unscrupulous lawyers. They went and forged the signature of a high court judge. So then I looked for the judge who had since retired. So I asked him, I said, boss, there's this letter here. Apparently you signed the letters of administration giving these people powers to administer all of this land and they eventually got title. He told me 2 issues are problematic. Number 1, that's not my signature. Number 2, that document was signed when I had since retired. So then, what we did, we insisted that both those titles cancelled. But these guys have already been paid billions of shillings. So today I am still insisting and saying, I want those guys to return that money. Because now the titles were cancelled after we made a lot of noise. So the titles got cancelled. And so I have since been saying, now that the titles were cancelled, These guys were paid based on fake titles. And they returned that money. That has yet to happen. KCCA, the SG has been telling us about the land filling details. Very unfortunate. We have been saying, look, this place here is full to capacity. About 36 acres, but since 1996, it's been a heap and it got oversaturated. So the percentage, some other land, Dundu, in Bokono, 136 acres, but they have failed to get the place ready. Anyway, the example I was going to give about KCCA. You normally hear of these trailers who they want to send off the streets. So these guys came up with a brilliant idea. And they said, now these vendors here want to get a place for them. That's supposed to be a good thing, right? They went in downtown Kampala in December, identified 10 acres of land. Most of that land I raised went back. I went to see it. What he took a house with the vendor of the land. And then they said, we need $100 million US for these 10 acres. You people buy land in Uganda, eh? What that means is that each acre of land was to cost $10 million. This is just land. It doesn't have a building or anything. Just land. Most of it was wet. But then they were convincing us that each acre is going to cost 37 billion shillings. That's a trans, about 37.5 billion when you do the transfer. How does that make sense? Even in Dubai, an acre of land does not cost 37 billion. It does not. Just land, not having structure. But so they said, we now want to take these vendors to that land. I say, but you thieves. So we pushed back, made a lot of noise, the Tubasu said, and up to now, I can't, because the deal was meant to be cut sometime last year. But we said, no, this nonsense cannot happen. Yeah. But that's an example of many other things that happen, which we might never get to know about. We went to Uganda creating a publishing corporation. Among many things that were happening there, the Electoral Commission, after an election, it's meant to gazette those that have won an election at different levels. And the law says the Electoral Commission can only gazette with the Uganda Gazette, which is run by Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation. That's the law. So they don't have the option of going to monitor, vision, whatever the case might be. So because of the lengthy roster, from all the people that have won, including councillors, UPPC charged them 15.4 billion. Now, some sharp fellows within the UPPC said we are the ones who brought this bill. So we must be given commission, 10%. So they shared 1.54 billion. So I asked them, I said, you people have been paid commission? They said, yeah. I said, how does this make sense? That we are the ones who brought the business to UPPC. I asked them, what does the law say? Because the law says, Electoral Commission is meant to gazette only in the Uganda Gazette, which is run by UPPC. So when you say that you convince them to give you business, and so you design a commission, how does that make sense? Just think about it. Today they haven't funded that money. Good. We went after UNDS. I think some of you are following. Some lousy ND there. We pushed that, got evidence, and then they admitted how they had given 100 million to a board to reappoint him. But for him to do that is because he knew there were so many deals there. So many. Yesterday we talked a bit about Civil Aviation Authority and Uganda Airlines, which report was thrown out the window by this very corrupt woman. Let me cite for you two examples about that airline of ours. When you talk about these things, some people say we don't like our country. But people were buying tickets, some of these regular flyers to buy and so forth. Somebody buys a ticket and recycles that ticket over 10 times without paying. They pay once. But because they're in cahoots with the officials of the airline, so the ticket is not closed, as it is called technically. So you buy the ticket once, and you fly with it 10 times. So Uganda Airlines made a loss of about 500 billion in a very short time. And then I saw ministers saying, you say you just don't like a country, airlines make losses. Okay, yes, they make losses. But how are we making our losses? Because those were billions of shillings because you've got to spend fuel and so on. But then people are flying for free under the guise of having paid. But they never paid once. And many, many other precary things that were happening there. Where the MD had a boyfriend who had a company, and she, without following procurement, gave the boyfriend's company a deal worth, I forget the exact figure, some billions of shillings. We did some digging up and discovered she founded the company with him. And when we talk about these things, we are enemies of the country. People have been following the debate on the Boa Hospital, which I said I'm not going to keep quiet about this one. We have so far injected 600 billion shillings into the Boa Hospital. So I went with a couple of leaders, some MPs are here, said we want to do our oversight role. They denied us access. You know, we stood somewhere and pipped, and we were not saying anything. So I told my colleagues, you know, it is possible, these people are building an underground hospital. Maybe that's why we cannot see it.
Maybe that's why we cannot see it.
But today, the 600 billion shillings cannot be accounted for. And they told us they will give us an update about it. I'm addressing the question of money. Those who say that we don't have money to deal with these situations. When you people travel back to Uganda, you normally use the Entebbe Expressway. Not so. Do you know that that road is one of the most expensive roads in the world? That road cost $476 million US. Each kilometer costs $9.2 million. The average, according to the computations and those that had done the prognostications, was going to be about $2 million per kilometer. But the sharp fellows blew the thing up. And so when I hear some people in government huffing and puffing how they have fixed infrastructure, but at what cost? Because all of these are debts which your children, your grandchildren and mine will have to pay. And so we have got money. Let me end with this one. Parliament of Uganda has been constructing its chambers, new chambers. Because there are people who decided every village must become a constituency and all of that nonsense. Those chambers were meant to be completed in 2019. They kept pushing and pushing. Then at some point, as I was digging up, said, money has not been as available. I said, but wait a minute. So I did some more digging up. And this is another war I want to start very soon when I go back. You know, I like starting trouble. Eh? Parliament rents Kingdom. You people know Kingdom? It's like an arcade, whatever. Where Shimoni was. Do you know who the owner is? Sunil / all those other names. Parliament spends 9 billion shillings per year on rent. There's another one called Queen's Chambers. Parliament spends 4.5 billion shillings on rent for office space for MPs and staff. Then there's another called Development House. It's all about 6 billion or thereabout. So you're saying you don't have money to complete your structure, which would make sure you're not renting, but then you have billions that you're spending to rent. Your case is as good as mine. the owners of the structure are cutting deals with the leadership of the institution to say, look, delay that project. Because you see, once the project ends, these guys want to get the billions. And that's how they divide. As I invite the Vice President to come and invite the President, one, we have got money. Number two, I want to encourage us not to be intimidated in keeping quiet about these evils. When we speak out, they intimidate us, they threaten us, and then they will use all manner of blackmail. You say these commissioners, they sat and gave themselves 500 million, 400. That's 1.7 billion. Then some random fellow says, but even you, they gave you 1.7 billion. I am bringing the evidence. Of course, you try and match together because we are making noise about their 1.7 billion. So I said, let me take this confused fellow to court. He filed a defense and said, for me, I don't have facts. I was just giving my opinion. I'm a Christian and I love the Lord and I forgive people. But this one I've said, no, I'm going to take him all the way. He has got to pay for his foolishness. So all those tactics will be used. I want to encourage us, wherever we are, let's keep pressing on. Madam Deputy President, come and address us.
Thank you so much. People power, our power. In the interest of time, I'm going to be very brief, extremely brief, because there's one person that we would like all to hear from. Please get your notebooks ready, because when I unleash this person, you will need to be taking notes. Yes. Your Excellency, the de facto and de jure President of the Republic of Uganda, the entire leadership of National Unity Platform Party, the diaspora here well represented. I would like just to recognize some, the generation. You know, there are 3 G's we represent: generation, geography, and gender. James Stockwell, please, Stockwell, please. You caught my eye. You caught my eye. And with your very beautiful, dedicated wife, Jaja Maria. Yes, we love. And of course, Your Excellency, the newest members of National Unity Platform Party, the global memberships, they are here. They were, received ably. We take note. Yes. And of course, Mirembe, the Ugandan. Mirembe Tina. Dr. Harriet, seated next to one very dedicated person from Nebi, because they say we are Baganda. Your Excellency. Yes. Without much ado, I would like to take this opportunity. Baden sabo kutwala obude buno ekiseera kino kubanga nze nancha. Nsaba okutwala ekiseera kino okuyita President waffe, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Musinguzi Ngovi Obini. This is a
People power! People power! Our power!
Power. People power.
Everywhere! In Chicago! In Busoga! In Arua! In Masaka! In Lira! Everywhere! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy President. I'm humbled by your introduction. Very, very, very powerful. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ugandans, friends of Uganda in a very, very special way. The professionals, the Ugandans that love Uganda, that decided not to relax and enjoy the comfort of America, but to use all your time, resources, and ability to fight for the freedom and rights of those that are home. I salute you today. And before I go any further, allow me again to ask you all to stand and we pay respect. Just this morning back home, there was a very big, unfortunate occurrence. Like SG has mentioned, so far they've only counted 12, but they're still counting. Many of our people in my constituency, Chadondo East, just about 1.5 kilometers from my house, our fellow citizens have been buried in garbage. I want to request us to observe a moment of silence for them. May their souls rest in eternal peace. And may they get justice. Please take your seats. Like Comrade Nubian likes to mention it, and I agree with him, that everything that goes wrong in our country is because of Museveni, it's because of misgovernance. Imagine losing your people because of lack of a waste management plan. Museveni killed those people because he was in Chitezi a short while ago. Not to see how people are doing, but to ensure that his land grabbers are protected. He protected Chichoncho in Chitezi after grabbing people's land and evicting them. And up to now, there's not been injustice or resettlement. In the same place, this has happened. And I believe it continues to happen everywhere in the country. But that's it. And it continues to happen. That's why we are here. That's why we shall not stop this fight. Comrades, this afternoon, I'll be brief. I've been asked to break down our core values or what we believe in. That's my passion. I always want to be understood. It is important to note that in most of my communications, I try to ensure that I break down what we are about. Because people ask, even my old friends ask, in the ghetto they ask, Bobi, what are you about? Many of my old friends with whom we used to have our long dreads, with whom we used to enjoy our music, some don't understand me. They say, what are you guys up to? Bobi, you're the same person that used to tell us that politics is dirty. Why are you then in politics? You people put on your berets, we like it. When we chat, we like it. When you show up in a place, we like it because people gravitate to you. Some come to us because of the music. Others come to us because so many people follow us. But what is it that we are about? I'm glad that in these few minutes, that's what I'm requested to break down for you and those watching us from home. First of all, who are we here? In this convention, there's the UNAP convention. For all the years we used to come to America for the convention, which convention I later understood that it was to discuss issues of Ugandans living in North America. Although, in many ways, it's a socializing event. You meet, you have fun, you live in different states in America, living in different states is like living in different countries. So that is once a year, an event of coming together. Is it why we are here? So who are we? In my view, ladies and gentlemen, we can break that down in many ways. But in my simple English, we are Ugandans or friends of Uganda from different backgrounds, different mindsets, different genders, different beliefs, different tribes, different religions, but with common pains and common aspirations. The pain of our country, of our people. The pain of misrule and mismanagement. The pain of dictatorship. That's our common pain. Many of us have their personal issues. Oh, they killed my father, they killed my relatives, they evicted me from my land. But all those are pain, those are the injustices. And we share beliefs and hopes of a new Uganda, which new Uganda has been very ably broken down by our Secretary General. So we are Ugandans from different backgrounds, but with common dreams of a new Uganda. What do we want? What do we want? Somebody sees you, you came from prison yesterday, but today you're again agitating for change. What do you want? We want to remove Museveni. We want to remove a dictator. We should never be unclear about that. We want to remove the dictator who is the impediment to our progress as a country. To have a new Uganda. We want to remove the gang of thieves, of plunderers that took over our country 38 years ago. That is what we want. That is our main mission right now. It is not the ultimate. It is not the end in itself, but it is the first step. Because in Uganda, you cannot do anything unless if you remove the impediment. Then start afresh to build a new country. So that is what we want. Twagala kuja kwa Museveni, tulibayekera. Banya bamutya, neze ndimuyekera. Tenchiwaga yezeze kulira abayekera, ndenesa abayekera. The only difference ntife tuyekera Museveni mu mateeka. That's right. Buli kimu tukikola mu mateeka. The other difference is we are not violent. We are not criminals. No. At least we've not gone there yet. And we hope that we are not pushed there. Because while we believe in non-violence, family, I've said it many times that I'm worried that a time will come when I cannot stop those that want to free themselves by any means necessary. So that's what we are about. After removing Museveni, what do we want to replace him with? I believe you attentively listened to Comrade David Lewis, and that's exactly what we want to bring. The new Uganda, he has broken down what we want to replace Museveni's failed system with. That is the new Uganda that we want to bring. Now finally, what do we believe in? What are our core values? Because what you believe in is what you are. What you believe in is exactly what you are. So what do we believe in? Ladies and gentlemen, these are our core values. They are 6. And they go as follows. Discipline, that's number 1. Reliability, that's number 2. Integrity, that's number 3. Inclusiveness, that's number 4. Patriotism, that's number 5. And service, that's number 6. So what do we mean when we say discipline? When I was growing up, discipline meant, stopping every time you see an elder and greeting them. Discipline meant sitting well while you're eating food. As a matter of fact, in our family, discipline meant not eating with the left, eating with the right. Discipline meant not making sound when you're eating. Is that what we mean when we say discipline? With the People Power Movement and the National Unity Platform, discipline is wider than that. Friends, many of us, if not all of us, are not under anybody's house or anybody's control. So, what is discipline to us? According to me, discipline, number 1, discipline is the ability to control yourself, to control one's behavior, and to be able to control one's conduct. Discipline is not doing something even when you can't do it. Discipline is not drinking and getting drunk even when you can afford to do it. To the men, discipline means not humanizing even when you're very handsome or beautiful. Discipline means self-control. Sacrificing a little for the greater good. Discipline, ladies and gentlemen, means respect for oneself and for others. And that respect for others, I must emphasize, respect for others, especially where and when you disagree. That is discipline. Discipline means taming oneself, sacrificing your ego. That discipline is a very important element in every struggle. And we've been taught from time immemorial that any revolution without discipline is dead. So if you don't have that discipline, we are finished. I always communicate to our friends, especially young people, that we have a duty to be disciplined and to show that discipline to the population, to those that watch us. Because the way we conduct ourselves is certainly going to be the way that people interpret us. But this is a message I've been giving, especially most of our bloggers. I call them our bloggers, not because we control them, but because many of them speak for the people of Uganda. But again, the ability to conduct ourselves by a certain standard, that is discipline. Because we can't hold them accountable. Many people have castigated us, even when some bloggers speak out there. Blogger gena nayo gere libye, oba politician ya munyeziza, oba mukulembeza munyeziza, na muwemulirawo. Discipline means obutawemula ne bw'oba ng'osobola okuwemula nga tewali ayina kyakugambye. Discipline means controlling your anger, even when it gives you satisfaction when you explode. Discipline kitegeeza kukkiriziganya ne banno nti abanaye twagambye tutambule bwe tuti omulama waffe gubeere ku Uganda guleme kubeera gwa kulumbagana na kuwalalira abantu betulowooza oba betulaba nti batulwanyisa. That is discipline. And so we believe that in a new Uganda we must have that discipline. Part of the problem in our country is that there's no discipline. Even in institutions where there should be the highest level of discipline, the military and police, there's zero discipline. No wonder the soldiers of Uganda, the police officers, are raping young boys in detention. So, let what is happening in our country, yes, I didn't make a mistake. The police officers in Uganda are raping young boys in custody. So I'm saying we must teach it to ourselves. We're not just going to learn it when we get there. We will be deceiving ourselves. You cannot give what you don't have. So we should have it now. So we're looking at Uganda in Pia, Gatulia Bakulembeze, Abo Kabasani. Number 2 is reliability. Reliability in Uganda. Bwesigwa? No, that's not Bwesigwa. Reliability. We should be people to rely on. Obwesigwa. So, reliability to the people of Uganda will mean dependability. We should be people that the people can depend on. And we can only confirm that to our people, not through our words, no, but through our actions. We should be able to win public trust and public confidence. We can only do that by demonstrating consistency, so that people know that because of the way we conducted ourselves yesterday and today, we will conduct ourselves tomorrow. We cannot be saying one thing today and another thing tomorrow. Standing for one value today and another value tomorrow. Mandela told us that any man that changes his position depending on who he's dealing with, that's not a person that can lead a country. So we cannot be standing for justice today and injustice tomorrow, or the other way around. Then we won't be reliable. People won't rely on us. So we believe in having trust, public trust and public confidence in a new Uganda. That is what is going to make us leaders worth our name. Number 3 is integrity. Owesimbo. This is something that is lacking in Uganda. Not only in the political class, very unfortunately, even within the elders, very, very unfortunately, even within religious leaders, you saw a bishop from Gomba, never to be a Gomba. Yehova kunamira kabaka, Yehova nebamfula RNC, Yehova bishop. You saw a bishop asking for a car from General 7 and promising him work for him in the next election. So the integrity has, faded away. We need to resurrect it. We as a national unity platform, we believe in integrity, we believe in Owesimbo. And our kind of integrity, ladies and gentlemen, means holding oneself accountable. You yourself. Over time, we've been taught that integrity is doing the right thing, even when nobody is watching you. So, tuberebe simbu, eri, abantu na paper, most importantly, on the values that we stand for, what we believe in as people, doing the right thing, even when we are alone, doing the right thing, even under challenging circumstances, standing for values, even when you're facing your own friend, your own relative, and those that, are expected to get away with it. That is what is wrong with our country, where you find Museveni holding the likes of, who is this guy that ran against him? No. I even forget their names. No, not Babasi, in the recent election. Tumukunde. you hold Tumukunde accountable and you court-martial him, but Muhoozi does the same thing and gets away with it. You know. So that should be different in the new Uganda. If we say this is what we believe in, all of us are going to be held by the same standards. That is what is going to make people believe that indeed we are people to be trusted, we are people worth the word integrity. Most importantly, friends, integrity should mean to all of us standing by strong moral principles. Unfortunately, integrity is down, like I said, across the country. But we should believe that we can resurrect it. We should look at examples across the world. We are not short of examples. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, and this is very important, is inclusiveness. Now, like I said in the beginning, we are Ugandans that come from different walks of life. We have farmers, we have lawyers here, we have teachers there. We have men, we have women, we have children. We have different backgrounds, different walks of life. In the new Uganda, everybody must matter. Every view must matter. Every belief must matter. That's the only way we are going to claim, and rightly so, that we're working for Ugandans, all Ugandans. There shouldn't be first-class Ugandans and second-class Ugandans. We shouldn't be comfortable because the majority is comfortable. Our Secretary General mentioned it, that Obote is unfamously quoted saying we shall not wait for Karamoja to develop. I'm here to tell you that we shall develop together with Karamoja. We shall move with the disabled people. And if they are slow, we are all going to be slow until we can push them to walk fast on the same pace with us. We are going to have the same standards. Those are going to be open for both boys and girls, men and women. Everybody is going to be included. We are going to hold hands with everybody and we jump the bridge together. We are going to include everybody, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we believe in. We are going to have equality and equity. We are going to be equal. Whether you are physically disabled or not, Uganda is going to be for all of us. Everybody will be included. A very simple example is that you're not going to find a building in a new Uganda that does not have a ramp. You're not going to have, facilities that don't cater for other people. We believe in that, but we must demonstrate that. That's a value that we believe. Because one person, one Ugandan to be left behind, that is too many Ugandans to be left behind. We shall strive to involve a wide range of ideas, like I said, of views and perspectives. Tribes, religions, beliefs, genders, ages, etc. must and will all be represented in a new Uganda. In a new Uganda, every view will matter. That's what we believe in. We are going to include everyone. That's the only way you can take a nation forward. Number 5, friends, this is patriotism. And we don't mean this patriotism of Museveni that is being sung. Patriotism, in simple terms, is love of one's country. But what is a country? Because we view our country different from the way Museveni views it. Museveni views a personal property. And all of us are like his livestock. But when we see our country, when we view our country, we see home. And we see fellow citizens. And we believe in love for our country. Omoyo gwe gwanga. Ate gwanga be bantu. Because one might ask, what country? Patriotism to us means, a people-centered mindset. We cannot claim to be patriotic. We're not talking about an unfree country. We talk about patriotism meaning a free country. Patriots are country lovers. They are not power lovers. So we are going to be country lovers in a new Uganda. Patriotism for us means tolerating difficult and challenging conversations. Patriotism to us means tolerating people, even those that don't believe what we believe in, for as long as we all are Ugandans, because we believe all of us are going to have an equal stake in that new Uganda that we will be calling home. Patriotism, ladies and gentlemen, I emphasize on disagreement because that's what makes us human beings. If we all agree, we would be damn fools. One man called Howard Zinn said that dissent is the highest level of patriotism, because that does not mean individual, it means country. So patriotism will be demonstrated to the core in the new Uganda. And finally, about patriotism, ladies and gentlemen, patriotism for us means the spirit of common good. I always talk about it and say patriotic leaders develop their countries. And I always give an example of a country like America. In a country like America, with patriotic leaders, which is well governed, there's that real feel of common good. When you're poor, your poverty ends in your house. You get out of your house, you're just as rich as any other American. You're as rich as Bill Gates in America when you leave your poverty in your house. You walk on good roads, you go to good hospitals, etc. But in a country where leaders are not patriotic, in a country that is mismanaged like Uganda, even when you're so rich, your wealth ends in your house. You get out, you're just as poor as Eddie Mutu. The bad roads are going to affect you equally. The insecurity is going to affect you equally. So for us, patriotism is love, practical love for the country. And people that love their countries do good for their countries. And countries are not just territories. Countries are citizens. Countries are people. Finally, on our values, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 is service. Service, obuereza. And that begins by the kind of leadership that we believe in. Servant leadership, where leaders are servants, they are workers, and citizens are the bosses. And that is supposed to be clear and evident. Because these are the people that we go to. We sing for them. You find politicians dancing for people, even those that despise dancing or singing. You'll find them going to bars even when they are Muslims. They smile even when they are angry because they want to appease people. But it shouldn't end only in elections. People should be bosses all through. Of course, I always tell people that that is not going to come on a silver platter. You must demand it. But as people, as leaders in the National Unity Platform, Service is very important, but it must begin with the leaders being servant leaders. Of course, that service cannot come without a sense of answerability and accountability. Without a sense of knowledge that, we must show value for taxpayers' money. Service comes from the word serve, or kuwereza. And not only serving is not coming and, speaking on behalf of people and walking away. No. Service means putting things in place, things that are paid for. People pay taxes, and those taxes are supposed to offer services to those people. And we're supposed to be accountable to those people. So that is something that we strongly, strongly believe in. Of course, it includes humility, it includes humbleness, it includes listening to the people that we serve. Like I said, it includes accountability and answerability. Why else would be people paying taxes? Why else would people be paying politicians? To serve them. So we strongly believe that service there must be, by the citizens, access to public resources, access to justice. Not this business of not this business of going to police. You pay taxes, but you go to police and you have to pay a police officer to come and apprehend the criminal. There must be service. Now today, we are mourning our people in their dozens in Chitezi because there is zero service. Here, if there were no services, then there would be no reason anywhere. It can't happen because citizens are empowered, they are sensitized. So these things, we tell them to people. And we don't stop there. We go ahead and ask them to hold us accountable to these values. These are promises that we make to people in exchange for their mandate. And therefore we must be held accountable. We must be servants. We must deliver. Deliver on economic opportunities for our people. Deliver on equality. And service does not only mean offering services in the capital city and it's all good. No. If Uganda has schools, Karamoja must have schools. If Ankole has water, Busoga must have water. Those services are not supposed to be tailored to a certain region or a certain ethnicity. They must be for all Ugandans because we believe that all Ugandans are supposed to be equally served by their leaders. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end by what I started with on the issue of service. Servant leadership, making leaders, servants, and citizens, bosses, emulating the idea of America, Europe, and other well-governed countries, having a spirit of common good, serving all citizens, regardless of religion or creed, regardless of location, regardless of tribe. I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we've taken some time and you guys want to go for a boat cruise, and I'm looking forward for an even more extended conversation tomorrow. I thank you and wish you a good rest of the day. God bless you and God bless you.
Mic check 1 2.
Yes, no, the sound quite clear.
speech y'omukulembeze ndoza mugiwulidde bulungi era nga sisuubira nti nno olunaku olwaleero. Anyway, to remind you, tomorrow tebiwedde lwaleero n'olwenkya, the conversation is still going on, so just keep refreshing our platforms. Tubadde live on this platform ku YouTube, ku Facebook, JB Muwonge TV channel badde live, JB Muwonge official page badde live, ne platforms endala zonna ezaffe zetutera okuweerezaako naye nga
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the depth, and we are glad to have you this afternoon. We have run out. First of all, we thank God that our program is done. We are running a little bit behind schedule on our next program, and that program is where most of you want to be, and those that are outside. But we are grateful all of you are here. Mr. President, the women had an empowerment platform yesterday. Please give them a big hand clap. Grace Nachimukame and her colleagues and our able leader here, they did, and many of them gave us a very, very, very great interface as women, and we look forward to operationalizing whatever resolutions that you came up with. We will find a slot tomorrow in the other programs for you to share with the entire public. We are very grateful. We are grateful to the young people that joined us, the youth. Please stand up for recognition of the President. Mr. President, those young people, are with us. We had a great lecture. They really inspired us. As I said earlier, the word motivational stage came from those young people as we were having a lecture with them. Mr. President, Professor Sedinya, alongside those expatriates, I will ask them to come and give you a handshake. Please, Professor Sedinya and your team come and get a recognition. They were baptized with the beret. The report must have been given by the Deputy President Zibriga. They have all been baptized. That is Professor Sedi. Yeah, so the President is now confirming. Yes. People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. You know, for long they said that you are working with foreigners. Now it is okay. We are here with them. They are now with us. Yes, thank you very, very much. You can give them can they have a picture? Yes, let them have a picture, with a presidential picture. Let them have a presidential picture. It can be right in front or right here. The president can choose where to have the picture. I'll ask the Deputy President to come along and the Secretary General later to come and have the picture. Okay, thank you. Yes. They have passed through us a lot of issues, and we are very grateful to have them. We are very grateful to have them. Viva NUP, viva! Viva! Viva people power, viva! Thank you very much. Thank you. The SG, you can join. Okay, quickly. Now, thank you. So, the remaining activities are going to be based on the time that you're going to give us. The time that you're going to give us. In the interest of time, probably you can stay there and the Lord will join. Professor Al-Mahdi, we're very, very grateful. Yes, Joel, please. Oh, okay, thank you. Without wasting any more time, I want to thank you all. Please, let's keep time with the activities. Tomorrow we have other activities. Let's keep time. It's the reason we are here. Let us keep time and have these activities through. Tomorrow we will be having the political tumeza. So when we communicate, it is going to help us debate a lot of issues freely as a family. So tomorrow we are having the political chimeza, courtesy of Daniel here. So tomorrow we will have it. Let us all come and open our minds. It all
Alright, nange sigenda sokako wano speech y'omukulembeze Kastegwa ebirala byonna ebiba bisigaddeyo yakiggala mukimanyi nammwe. So let's catch up tomorrow. Of course, I'm not so sure about the time. Someone was asking about I mean the time program yen kyabagenda otandika negwe beera ng'ocheckinga kujja Muwonge YouTube channel oba ku Facebook page zonna. Who was asking that's what Efrance adabuuza nti sawa ziri mumeka kati mu USA. Of course currently mu Chicago sawa ziri 10. Yeah, sawa ziri 10. Ezemisana seze ekiro ezemisana. So that is in Chicago currently. President wamu ne ba comrades we bali era sheno weekend. I mean convention je taking a place. Nainga, thank you for tuning in. Mwena babaddeko ever since we started this, almost 3 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, 3 hours, 4 hours. Mwena babaddeko from ndabyeko bakomeza okuva Nalukolongo, Luweero, Wedanda bakabe Gulu, Mbarara. Hey, you guys, muli kunono, muli bayitirivu abali kunba koni naloga mwe namba lengedde mwe ba Alex Magic, Narubega, Matovu. You guys, thank you for tuning in. Okuva mu district ezenjawulo kizaamu amaanyi okulabako abantu nga abeeruweero, abeemasaka, bundi bujjo, you know. Manya abantu basinga bagamba mbu social media platforms zaffe zino mbu zijjuddeko bantu bali wabweru wa Uganda. Olumu basekerera kuba tebamanyi nti nno ffe tulaba insights ne tugenda mu analytics. Netulaba the biggest contributor in terms of engagement. Iro wekanganga bava wano mu Uganda. Alright guys, let's link up tomorrow. It has been at the NUP convention in Chicago 2024 and it has been JB Muwonge. Till next time, of course, that is going to be tomorrow.